I said, we were at right at 6 kilowatts. After the compressors kick on and drop down to the run stage, it ended up at 4.6 kilowatts is what the total run was. And here I'm showing now that the heaters are on, and this one's fixing to be on. I just turned it on. They're at 1500 watts, and you can see the fan moving, and you'll see the thermal indicators here in a minute where I measure each one of them's temperature to show that they are actually on and producing heat. You can see on the voltmeter there, I've got 111 and 112. When you start getting into the higher loads, especially with the 3 capacitors, because I burned one, I started losing a little bit of voltage. I actually got down to 104 before it was all over, before this test was over. The voltage had dropped to 104, but that was because I had lost a capacitor.
You're saying that there's really no theoretical upper limit out of that?
There's no limit?
Is that what you're saying?
I haven't found one, no. I really haven't, and I've tried.
When you say there's no upper limit, in other words, instead of 6,000 watts of power, yeah, you could theoretically generate 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000.
This has the potential of probably 30 megawatts. I mean, for real.
In other words, let me explain, if you allow me. You're dealing with superconductors. The current doesn't flow through the copper wire. The current, plasmatic current, flows through the nanomaterial. There is no friction. This material, the way we produce it, is you can use it for a zero-time communication if you know how to use it. We have an idea that is the copper and thickness of it. When you run a very high voltage and current through these wires, you see the material inside melts, but the nanomaterial coating holds, and it's a superconductor. What you see as a black material, this is at least between 30 to 50,000 layers of atom line on top of the copper, but is made of the copper itself. This, the Ministry of Defense of United Kingdom released a paper a year ago in Farnborough saying that this is one of the most perfect absorbing material. It absorbs 99.999 of any wavelength of we know in our vocabulary of science. Because atoms now are distanced from each other, they are positioned layer by layer. When the field comes, it gets trapped in these kind of material, and it doesn't reflect back. That's why it looks black, and is one of the best capacitors. So when you look now to get energy, you go and buy a fuel. But if we have developed a technology that the outer layer of this material we can put in the salt water, it comes up as a single atoms. We call it GaNs, which is gas in nano state. And then if you put this GaNs, when you freed it as a free energy, paint it back on the same black material, now it gives you the possibility to absorb energy, not from only the material coated on, from the whole of the universal energy. So there is no limit. We create energy beyond imagination. We don't create, we absorb energy. Because every single one of these materials is like a sun. It has gravity and magnetic field. Let me explain to you why there is so much mystery around this. And it's been said by the American government, we cannot give you a Nobel Prize because the Iranian nuclear physicists can never get it. We have discovered the gravity. That's what's the secret. What gravity means, you can absorb anything to yourself. Has been the biggest holy grail of the science. If it was done by an American, it would have been everything God knows what. But unfortunately, the arrogancy has literally kicked back for those people who don't understand it. Because this is understanding gravity, and you can absorb any energy you need. You go to an oil well, you go to the sun, you create nanomaterials the way we do, you go to the energy of the universe. And that's what the change is coming. We don't need, we can absorb what we need by the material we need. And that's why it can produce so much energy. They absorb energy from the universe and it's nano layers, so it surfaces on a zero friction. The material he showed you from outside, if you go to in, is super resistor. When you go along it, is the best superconductor we ever known. It's been tested by the universities.
In the video here, is this being run by the Dremel machine, or is it?
No, there is no Dremel. It's taken away. It's self-sustaining. It'll go for hundreds of years.
This is version 1. This was my initial setup to create the pulse. I use 2 compressors now, like I was telling you earlier.
Can you stop the video, Rick?
An infinity loop and tap into the loop.
So I'm gonna pass this around so you can pull on this and feel the magnet that's there, which is what is actually generating the electricity to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Except that the plasma energy to generate the electricity is actually coming from
exactly
the Keshe generator.
Yes, exactly.
Now, when somebody gets a,
can you switch back over to Douglas's screen so you can see what's going on here?
They plug it into the wall, and then how long do they have it plugged into the wall before they can unplug it from the wall?
There's variables. I have noticed certain wires that they'll nano coat the wires where you plug it into the wall. It goes back into the wall, all the way back into your grid to the panel, and it will nano coat your wires inside the wall there, and they will become superconductors. Eventually, your entire house will become nano coated, so it will become a superconductor, thereby cutting your electricity bill to virtually nothing.
That's if you're still.
Can I say something which is a step further?
Yes.
We are now at the stage of development where we don't need wires anymore. We are working like a telephone line, like a mobile phone. We are developing slowly a wireless energy system, which means in the house you leave a unit in the wherever you like, and the rest of the house, there is no need for wiring. We already have achieved most of and all of this. I can do it for you in no time, but I've left it to the people who are around the foundation to bring it, that then there is nobody's life in danger. Even the wiring we talk about that it gets nano-coated is already obsolete. The wireless communication, the way we see with mobile phone, is at our hand now with this technology. In no time I can show it to you. People in the Innovation Center in Philippines can explain to you. We can develop. All we need to do, we need a system to create a gravitation field from the field which is coming from the mother, and it just receives it. In the next few months, we don't see any need for recharging. Bernie, are you online by any chance? Do we have Philippine online? Yeah. Can you promote him, please? Bernie, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Keshe.
Yes. Would you like, Bernie is from the Keshe Foundation Innovation Center in Philippines, and he is working on more or less wireless energy transfer. Could you explain to us what you see with energy and what you see with the automotive, please?
Yes.
Mr. Keshe, tell Bernie to talk up. We're having a storm here, and it's quite hard to hear now.
You have to speak up.
Okay. With the device, we were able to influence the combustion engine to perform much better than it is performing. It can reach up to, during our testing, we're able to verify 34 meters distance that we're still able to influence the vehicle to perform very well. We are limited to that distance because we hit the wall on the next building. So from our understanding, we can go beyond this. Maybe we can cover an entire city for this. The engine responds very well when the device is switched on or activated. There is no wire connected to the engine. There is no mechanism to add fuel. It's all about the fields created by the system. It is a wireless system. We call it wireless because we did not connect any wires to the engine. The engine just leave it as is. Any cars around it will be affected. That's how it works. And we managed to, yes?
Could you explain to us about the energy transfer for the house? With the system, the generator which you are building now, the miniature system.
Okay, the small one. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Then our next development, we have this mag-grav system, a small one, small size, around 2 inches in diameter, outer diameter. The one you have there on the table is around, it's a bigger one. You imagine a 2 inches diameter, a smaller one. Yes, we are on the next stage on the development of this. And in this development, we have a built-in, I would say, a heartbeat unit that would initiate the pulse once you assemble it.
Is it possible you could show us the system?
I can show a photograph. I have. Can we show this the photograph?
Please share a screen, please. Yes, too.
Okay, let me open the photograph.
If you can show, then they can see how far the development is. And this is what I told you just a few minutes ago, that we can capture and cover any environment with communication. And now you heard Bernie, 34 meters, and because there is a wall, they couldn't go any further. You can cover to reduce energy from engine. You can see how further back we can go to stop any line of communication.
Mr. Kirsch,
yes.
Is the unit that we're going to show the one with the heartbeat, or the one with the wireless?
Show them both. We are here to show, let the Americans understand we are free in sharing knowledge. This is worth billions in any language if you put it into operation.
Okay. So the paper where the copper units are put on is a short bond paper. It's a short office paper, short bond paper. You see the scale there, how big it is, the coils. So we have this. We can increase the capacity of these capacitors here according to what we need to the system to do. These two here facing each other is what we call the circuit that can resonate with each other like a heartbeat.
It has the 4 chambers of the heart, if you notice.
Yes. And they are connected in such a way that they will respond with each other from like a pulse,
This replaces the refrigerators which you've seen in the other system. Sorry, carry on.
We also have, Mr. Kesh, we also have, after during the time Douglas was there, we further developed, and we have literally translated what Douglas already have there in that form into a completely solid state.
That's what I explained in before. Now you're confirming. We don't have any moving parts. This is the next generation.
Yes, and we understood it very well. And we can improve it much better next time.
This configuration on the table can give you anything 10, 20, 30 kilowatt. And literally, when it's assembled, is the size of a Rubik cube.
Yes, you can simply put all these these units, the standing capacitors, around the box and put the coils, the circular coils, inside the box in the middle. That will do. A very small unit.
Can we see the wireless system, please?
Yes, I'll get the photograph.
Yeah. So you can see the technology. What I told you, we can show it. It's not a dream. It's not something it might happen. And this is a development in less than a month. In a few days' time, most probably in a maximum a few weeks' time, you will see what we call the flying system with no fuel. Because if you understand now you can produce energy in a plasma form, then you understand you can travel the space exactly the same. You create a plasma of gravity or magnetical. And then you attach anything to your system, you have a shielding, which is the atmosphere, and you get pulled or rejected. You can, this is what I said, and the American government has paid a deaf ear to it. In a very short time, Africans with the most, whatever call it, even a piece of wood, would end up in front of the Washington White House using this technology, and are developing it very rapidly. Africans are actually outrunning anything else in their development, because they don't need the fuel. Their fuel time is gone, it's finished, it's over. And now you see it, because all you need to do, you need to add one piece to this Rubik cube. The Rubik cube will fly. It's just one piece, less than 10 cents cost. But the foundation people are working around it. It'll be shown very, very soon. And if you can put it on a piece of wood, you don't need to get on a boat, risk your life. You fly from anywhere in Africa to the middle of the White House, and nobody will even detect you. The situation is very different, and it's time for those who have kept you asleep to wake you up. This is a totally wireless system. Would you like to explain, please?
Okay, what you have there, a photograph of 3 units. These are 3 units. So each triangular form is a single unit. That's all you need, a single one. I have 3 here in a photograph because this is the only photograph that I have that is clear. You put, you place this unit near the car, and it will change its performance. And you move away from the car at some distance, it will continue maintain that newly improved performance. So but these are small bottles. These are 25 ml bottles with coil inside and liquid plasma. This is the water that is with GANs. The water on top of GANs. When you make these GANs, this nano material GANs, the water where you place this is what we put in here in these containers. This is a very small device. Imagine these are individual 25 ml containers, so it can fit in your palm.
We can even reduce this to a pocket size, the same energy.
Yes, we have a small version of this. And making a bigger version, you don't need, just a small one will do. Because it can produce, for as long as the configuration is correct, yes, it will create a field. The last testing we have 34 meters. That's only the radius. It's not the diameter, it's the radius that it can reach that far.
Thank you very much, Ernie. Thank you very much for being there. Now, in reality, you see the whole thing has changed. I spoke, I explained, now we can show you. And it costs nothing. A few pieces of wire. And very soon, in next few days, when we release the technology as a whole in its next step, what you spend, even if you reduce your fuel costs by 40–50%, you will feel the difference. And anybody can do it. This is the beauty of it. We teach that the layman on the street can do it. Any other question?
I guess it's time to get to work. It's our next step, right?
Pardon?
So our next step, what's our next step? Get to work?
I don't know. That's, I think, what's going to be the decision made in the White House, isn't it?
To build these technologies and develop the new ones, and if they're as inexpensive and simple to build as they appear to be, then we'll let the people do it. We don't need large manufacturing companies in order to do it.
Let me explain to you. I've had meeting with a lot of American companies over years. I met with General Electric some 7-8 years ago in Brussels, and the guy says to me, he said, we are selling so many of these windmills and we are fully booked on our hand to sell windmills. We'll leave it till your technology become known and then we consider it. Unfortunately now there is no windmill and there is no job left for them, because this is what they've done. We shown this to Boeing. Boeing has got a full flight system there. They wouldn't even take it into their building. They saw it outside on the pavement because they could not believe such a thing happening. The people from NASA are fully aware of this technology, but the only thing is they never had a key. And I'm releasing the key gradually worldwide that everybody has it. I've got no choice. In next 2 weeks, 6 weeks, we have to release the flight key. We have to. There is no other option, because now people produce plasma energy, and the plasma energy sooner or later will lead to flight. It's inevitable. The flight is not that you're going to fly. In the system, you create gravity and magnetic field. It has to find its position in respect to Earth. You call it a flight. We call it positioning, magnetic gravitational positioning. It's inevitable. In next few days, anywhere, and once we've seen it, we teach and somebody comes up and shows it, the rest will follow. And I tell you one thing, I think somebody amongst you is about to achieve it, but he doesn't see it. And they know I don't teach unless somebody gets to it. Arman, living in Los Angeles, he's literally on the verge of it. I won't guide him to fly, because then it'll be one way. He has to do it. But in Los Angeles, if the gentleman who's there, who introduced me, moves in the right direction, he is hovering right a flight system for nearly a year, but somehow he doesn't see it. And it'll be an American done. The way as we brought you, if I want to show this technology in Japan, I have Japanese to do it. We don't need to send people. That's how much we are homegrown in every direction. You have no choice. The situation, it comes in a direction that we gave a lot of chance to the world nations, the leading industry, to lead, but they saw it as a loss of profit. Now you lose. You can attend our conference on the 17th, 18th, 19th of October in Ghana. In Ghana Atomic Energy Commission is done by Keshe Foundation, Ghana and African University, and we show the development of this technology only in Africa, in 1 or 2 nations. And you'll be surprised. You are still looking for money to do research for whatever. Now the Africans with few pennies, what you've been looking for hundreds of years, tens of years in universities, achieve it with few pennies. And they are free. They come and show it to everyone. And you need patent and the permission. We have buried the patent process because we share it so openly that nobody can patent the technology anymore. But on the other hand, this is a space technology, and these are the fallout from new technology. I tell you something, there is somebody in your room, if he's carrying a water from the liquid on the black stuff, you burn yourself with a matchstick, or burn yourself with a lighter, and one of us will spray it with this liquid. In less than 2 seconds, you won't feel any pain. And you will never feel a pain till the whole skin heals. Now we are testing in Italy in September, from 5th, 6th of September, the liquid which you made from copper, We are taking to operating room that the surgeons don't need to send the material for sterilization. The doctor, most of the contamination and infection in the operating room comes from handling. The doctor can put his hand in the water, put all the cutting tools, whatever he uses for surgery in the water, just take it out, do the operation and put it back in. It's shown in research instantaneously, within less than 5 seconds, any known germ viruses are killed or changed, that they are not doing any damage in the operation hospital. This is what we're going to do in Italy in the coming time. And what we do, we have received certification and confirmation for it. We are not doing it because it's they've tested it. We give our materials to be tested, rigorously tested. If you look at the Maghreb unit in front of you, the white one, this has got certification from EU. And we have received additional certification in past few weeks from SGS that it can be exported to the countries which accepts SGS certification. Everything is not theory anymore. It's working, but we don't understand what is wrong with your country. Well, what the heck is going on in that country? I don't understand. Put it this way, I think the pride, the false pride has made you blind. This is the problem. This is where it's going to sit and it's going to hit very hard. As you know, there are thousands of people watching this broadcast. It's not just you. And some of these are the military leaders of China. They came. I invited them to come and have a look. I invited the Chinese and Russian leadership to look tonight. I said we're going to show to the Americans how far they are falling behind. It's your pleasure because you know where you are. You are not sitting on your own. I can call upon numbers, names on the board of control room, and head of militaries will introduce themselves. You are falling behind, beyond the imagination, and nobody's waking up. No one. And you'll pay for it heavily. In a way, it's to our benefit, because when you fall behind, we can disarm you much easier. And we are going in that direction. We will disarm American military in no time, without a single bullet being fired. New plasma technology doesn't need bullets. All we need, we change the field environment. And somehow, I would love to, I promise I will not do, but I can call upon the some of the Chinese military people to introduce them that are watching you. In so many ways, you have become a laughing stock of the science which is going on, and you put your head in the sand and you don't see it. I didn't come to show you a generator. I came to wake you up, and I hope you wake up. Somebody in Washington wakes up, somebody in the United States wakes up, and you will understand you're falling behind very, very heavy. And it's getting developed by the Americans. You don't need to import it. The threat is very real, but the threat is that you become a third world nation as the other ones are passing you. You're so under false pretenses that you are a superpower. You're actually the most bankrupt nation. Look what the American government released on the day of opening of the Olympic, how much debt you have. They can't tell the nation in an open time when it's peaceful or there is no excitement that we have some 600 whatever billion trillion dollar debt. They have to hide within the news of a sport. This is how bad it's become. But what is the reason? We've been negotiating with NASA since 1984 for development of this technology. I have communication. I showed some communication from NASA in 2011-12 in respect to the space. Your space technology is obsolete. Absolutely obsolete. We flew in Tehran, we created lift in Tehran on the 28th of Shaban in 2008 when I was in Tehran. Now imagine if Iran managed to become one of the super nuclear powers in less than 15 years, you can imagine what they've done with the space technology in the 8 years. I have to wake you up, because if I don't wake you up, you become victim of your own ignorance. And somehow, maybe, as my wife just said, maybe it was a blessing that you didn't get absorbed by the energy unit and just go there, you've seen a new energy unit. It's a bell ringing for your nation. And if you don't wake up, you're going to get hit very badly. If I move to China, I give you 3 months before you cannot fly even. You not fly, you don't have the system to fly a single aircraft. I warned about this 6-7 years ago. All you need, the gentleman told you, diameter about 70 square meter. The size of the thing is less than 10 centimeter in diameter. You create a right field, you jam everything. Russians have shown you the power of this technology less than 2 years ago. Now you see the cause of it. Now you have the technology of it. Use it for medicine. You walk in, within 30 days, no cancer. You're spending billions on chemotherapy and it comes back and secondary cancer. This sorts the cancer in all parts of the body, irrespective of. How many children are dying because of the lack of food? Now we can transfer food into the water. We've done it. There are people amongst you who can show you. You can transfer all the energy of the orange into a water and drink the water. You feel it, you taste it, you smell the orange, and you receive the energy of orange. This false superiority will cost you very heavy in the coming weeks and months. Extremely heavy. The position is Africans are going very heavy in the development of the space, and it costs less than $20, most probably even less, to be in center of Chicago or Washington or wherever, and you can't say anything because you left yourself open. It's time to understand this is on the broadcast. People can show you, I can ask the way we ask just to be seen, show you videos of people who have lost. The gentleman, Douglas is in front of you. He was one of the first one reporting he lost the ball in one of his tests. Would you like to explain it, Douglas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Kesh. The cores he's talking about, mine was a quad core, and manipulate the pH in the core to create field interactions with the other cores. In doing this, I have a 2-speed motor, one about 25 to 3,700 RPM, and the other one is about 10,000 RPM. The core was stable at 2,700 to 3,000 RPM. We started getting a nice toroid effect. For those of you that don't know what a toroid is, it looks like a donut. Magnetical fields, just like the Earth, going in the bottom and coming out the top. We were getting a real nice effect, and I increased the RPM up to 10,000. And as Mr. Kesh explained earlier, the ball wants to immediately, because of the interaction with the pH, the hydrogen, the ball, the reactor, the whole reactor wanted off the ground, and I was trying to stop it. I had no idea it was going to lift. It startled me. And when I went to grab it, the ball flew up straight in the air, hit the ceiling, smashed, and it took me and my wife about a couple hours there for sure of looking around, and we had finally given up and found it in the living room, and the door was closed, and it was behind the couch, which is be an impossibility. You know, we would have had to actually walk out into the living room, turn left, and throw it behind the couch. So there's no other explanation but the core went through the wall. It created its own field. Like he said, the outer core that was base and acidic, or acidic and alkaline in equal measures with CH3, and it was dispersing. And at first, I thought the core was cracked, but it's not. This is how this works, how Mr. Kesh explained earlier. When the water leaves, you know, when the liquid leaves, then the lift starts to occur. And I've witnessed this several times now, even with lead. So when the liquid was gone, I let it. He told me to let it run. I was scared. He said, "No, let it run, let it run, let it run." So I did. I let the liquid run out of it, and when the liquid came out, like I said, it flew. She went off on her own. She was gone. I couldn't catch it quite enough. My wife was standing from this young man here behind me, sitting. She was sitting on her chair, watching this and helping me with some nano stuff at night after the children go to bed, helping me catch up on some things. And she said, now to me, everything was in real-time motion. This part I don't understand. Everything was, I jumped up out of the chair and grabbed the cord. It scared her so bad that she's afraid of the cores, because she said that everything I was doing was in slow motion, like I was being replayed on TV, like a football replay, that I was moving just really slow. And it kind of scared her. It shook her up pretty bad. She couldn't explain it, and Mr. Kesh explained to us what it particularly in that instance had happened is that I was in another field, and the ball, I was in the same field that the ball went out of, but I didn't go in the field with the ball, and she was witnessing this. She was witnessing this interaction of the shift, of the dimensional shift there, and that's the way it was explained. And this has happened every time I've done this now, 3 times, and I've explained to the young man back here, call him young, with the new heavy element that I've got, a thorium of 232, that I've still managed to be able to do this, to make this float, and also lead, and to raise them both up off the table. The last one we got off about 6 to 8 inches before it completely come apart. So we're right there. And
thank you very much. You have Armand with you. He lost a ball last week in testing. The same process. Number of people around the world. It's just a mixing water with each other. Nothing else. We are not talking about expensive fuel. We are talking mixing a combination of water together, and he achieves gravity and lift. And there is plenty of free water in Africa. And working very rapid. Any other question?
Richard? Well, I got one.
Yes.
If y'all can get the parts you need before you head out of DC, you're welcome to demonstrate this at the Defense Threat Reduction Agency or Belmore.
Pardon? Who's speaking, please? I can't hear you. Could you explain who you are, and if you don't mind? And I can hear the question. Pardon?
Active duty Army Major Todd Hathaway from the Defense Threat Reduction Agency out of Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Yes.
Half an hour from here.
Yes. And what is your question?
It's an open invite through the end of the month to demonstrate any technologies you would like.
You have to go and ask your president if he allows me to come in to demonstrate. With the greatest of pleasure.
We can do it here.
Yeah, anyway. It's fine.
No?
We don't need you to come into the United States unless you want to make that a condition.
You set up a parameters, what you want to see, what you want us to perform, and step by step. The beauty of it is we are not going to inform. We are not going to do it for you. We teach it, you will do it. It takes you 2 days with the people in that room to teach you how to make everything. With the knowledge you have, I have met with the Marine Corps of United States based in London deeply regarding this technology. They said it's the biggest destructive technology in military force we ever know. We don't know how to handle you. We teach you. You arrange a time in this room. We come, you come, we tell you what to bring, you make it. Then you can't tell nobody else who's done it. And with the knowledge and expertise within the American military, you will achieve 1,000 times better than we did faster technologies. I take your challenge up, but I won't do it. You do it. And I give you 3 weeks before you sleep, you eat, and live this technology. Don't do it. You don't need me. You have the masters of Keshe Foundation amongst you. The 2 gentlemen, 3 gentlemen with you, they are experts. They're all been hand trained by me. Armin has been my student for 2 years, every day next to me. I take your challenge up, but I won't do it. I teach you how you do it, and then you say where you stand.
I'm more than willing to help them as well. And I've talked to Todd earlier, and I didn't know it was Major Todd, but now I do.
I have the entire month of September available.
Yes.
Armin, have you got time for American military to teach?
I'm on terminal leave in September before I retire, so the entire month of September is available.
No problem. The challenge is taken up. You can look after our people. They teach you how to do it. You have both Douglas and Armin. They can teach the whole American Army in 2 days, and you do it. But don't forget, you're falling behind Chinese by 3 years.
Well, we'll catch up.
Mr. Keshe, this would be an honor for me.
I hope so, because when you catch up, you'll talk peace, because you know there is no need for any tools to war.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
if Douglas sticks around, that would be absolutely wonderful. If we could.
You give him a good accommodation, somewhere he can enjoy staying. I pay his wages, no problem, and he will teach you freely.
Mr. Keshe, this would be an honor to me because I graduated from Belvoir in the top 5 of my class in 1987 in power generation. So this would be a great honor for me to help the Major into understanding this technology better.
And if you like, if you can invite him to a military base, he teaches all your military guys how to do it. You got to remember, what you see is a solid state, which is hard to manipulate. We are now in a liquid and a field state. My teaching, or most of the knowledge seekers are in that level, and it's beyond your imagination. If that liquid you saw in the bottle they showed you, it got a radius of 70 meters, when you make that dynamic, a radius is 700 meters, 7 kilometers, 70 kilometers. It covers every naval ship on the China Sea, and that's what's going to happen to you very soon. A little dinghy boat you don't consider at all something, with a little Chinaman sitting there as a fisherman, will disable all the American naval forces in South China Sea. Because that's all it needs to do. And it's not harmful, it doesn't touch your body. It only interacts with the fields you decide to block. I take your challenge up. I said to our people who are with you, I'm prepared to come to a state. We have no problem with it, as long as you guarantee my safety. As long as the American government guarantees our position and safety and the freedom to teach. I have the same deal with the Chinese leader, President Xi. But it'll be nice if you Americans in your base accept the Chinese, and we teach both of you, both militaries, that you can stay equal. You will not fight. The condition of transfer of this technology is the signing of world peace. It means peace treaty is the forehead of front runner of our agreements. I teach you, but before we teach you a single thing, there is a paper on my website. It says peace treaty. You sign it that you'll never use any part of this technology to harm no one and for no war. If you are that committed to your nation, I challenge you. You sign this peace treaty, I sign you the whole thing. The letter which I received from President Obama is, I sent him the peace treaty. I said, sign this, commit your nation to peace. And he sent me a letter with the armor, and let him read it. Every reason to kill. Why do we need to kill? There is so much to enjoy. You're an army officer, I'm a man of peace. You put your gun down, I'll teach you the knowledge of the universe. I take your challenge up.
Okay.
Give him the peace treaty, let him sign, and teach him everything he needs, please, Armin.
By the way, I wanted to ask, that peace treaty, is that the same kind of a peace treaty as like what the United Nations has, where one nation will never raise a sword against another nation type of thing?
No, it's you personally. Commit yourself to peace that you never harm no one. Can somebody read the peace treaty? It's already translated to most of the languages around the world. It's been signed by millions of people. Vince, can you read the peace treaty? It's only a few lines. It's on our foundation. Every man we come and work with us has to sign it. Every man uses our technology. We are getting mankind because when you have everything, why do you want to war? I tell you, your officer, give me 3 days in a military base, you'll have no soldier left, because I know how to reach the emotion of your soldiers that they don't even understand why they're carrying guns with them. What's the purpose of it? And the evidence of it is, ask the 27 officers which came off the boat when the Russian blocked it. They walked out and they resigned because they said the nation cannot protect us. But behind it was they couldn't see any reason for war. We have already reached some of your officers through our work. Can you read it, please?
It says...
I've got it up on the screen there as well, Vince.
Go ahead, Rick. You're really good at reading these things.
Okay. Let me get my live stream audio going. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it on the screen there? Is it sharing properly?
Yes.
You can see it on the screen, but it's not big enough for us to read the words.
Someone read it out loud.
Rick's gonna read
Yeah, I'll read it. It's okay. Okay, it says World Peace Treaty. We/I, as citizens of the earth, from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We/I shall never think about getting involved or incite war or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we/I all agree and swear with our/my, delete as appropriate, nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, body, and soul. And with name, signature, date, position on behalf of the, and selection of nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, or individual, and a witnessed area. And it says, after signing this treaty, be proud to display this certificate wherever you consider being important to you, that everyone can see and know your ethos to fellow men and mankind and other created beauties of the Creator. So the idea here that you can select or delete the parts that aren't appropriate and have it witnessed, basically. Yes.
This has been signed, as I said, by millions of people. It's one of the most downloaded papers on the internet. And if you can commit you as a man of army to it, the way Douglas has done, and the ex-military man, you see every beauty in this new technology to use it for peaceful application. There is so much job to be created with this technology that computer jobs will be literally a few numbers in it. We have to redo everything. The way we produce food, the way we produce materials, the way we produce even computers. Supercomputers will cost nothing nowadays, once you understand how it works. How you can manipulate different layers of that black material. It gives you every imaginary thing you can imagine. So I take your challenge up, and I hope your Chief of Staff, President Obama, who has a copy of it in his office because he responded, will sign it with you.
Mr. Kesh, it is getting to be 4 o'clock in the morning your time, and
if it takes even 10 o'clock in the morning my time, and it can bring peace to you Americans and us, it's no problem.
Get to work tomorrow here. That was the next thing.
No problem.
And so we ordinarily go till about 9 o'clock, and this evening we're going almost till 10. And some of us would like to get together afterwards and talk amongst ourselves. And we'll have representatives of the Keshe Foundation here, and we can do that here.
No problem. You can, all the way you want to do it, find a way that we can share knowledge freely, and it'll be done.
And if anybody wants to sign up for follow-on to what happens here, what happens after tonight with the representatives of the Keshe Foundation and Mr. Keshe himself and the foundation, you're more than welcome to do so. I've got something here that you can put your names on if you like.
You want to pass it around? Or?
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. I think you got more than you came in and you bargained for.
Yes, we did. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you indeed. And now we leave you, it's about 3 o'clock. We started teaching, it's about 4 o'clock now. We started teaching at 9 o'clock as usual, Thursday mornings. And hopefully we are one step closer to world peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, shall we end the workshop now, or?
Mic on. We'll end and then we can meet back at 9 a.m. CEST.
The regular Thursday workshop time. Right on, great. Okay, that's the end of the 132nd Knowledge Seekers workshop for Wednesday or Thursday, depending on where you are, August 17th or 18th. And like Finn says, we'll be back later. So we'll end the live stream now. Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. It's Thursday, August 18th, 2016, and it's a very big day for the Keshe Foundation, as we'll find out in this workshop. First, I'll play the Mojan promotional video, and then we'll get into the main part of the workshop.
Would you like to be one of the first humans in space using plasma technology? The Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute is now taking applications for the Man-Originated Zone Habitation and Nutrition Training Program, or MOJAN. The goal of MOJAN is to teach trainees how to create and utilize the magnetically oriented joint habitation and nutrition system that will be used for life in space. Be one of the first humans in space using plasma technology. The 3-month MOJAN training program begins in the fall of 2016. Apply today at mojan.kfssi.org. Trainees will be taught every aspect of plasma technology needed for them to go to space and survive, and will be educated in space ethos. Participants are expected to bring the knowledge forward to the peoples of their nations, to prepare them to become peoples of space. Matter propulsion technology. Today on Earth, we use inefficient and costly rocket propulsion technology, which burns fuels to overcome the magnetic gravitational fields of the planet to go to space. We power our rockets, our cars, and our homes by burning matter to release the energy that we convert from one form to another in order to create motion and usable energy. As well, to achieve objectives, Rockets, for example, have to carry large and heavy payloads of fuel, which means that they're payload dependent. Matter propulsion technology is very destructive, inefficient, polluting, and wasteful. Now, let's look at the new alternative, plasma technology. Plasma technology uses the properties of the entirety of plasma to create motion, lift, and energy without destroying the characteristics of matter. The system utilizes magnetic and gravitational field interaction to attain positioning and motion. Nothing is burned, there's no waste, and no pollution is created. Plasma technology is efficient and not destructive. Current human scientific achievement is the result of a progressive evolution in science and technology over thousands of years. Plasma technology is the next step in that evolution. It's viable and it's here today. You could be one of the first humans in space using plasma technology. Apply today to the Mojan training program.
Okay, let's move into the main part of the workshop here with Mr. Kesh. I believe he's available. Let's see, I'm not sure if we have the video. Do you have a video feed for Mr. Kesh today? Or hello, are you there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you're listening to us. No, we don't have the video. Video was set up for the presentation of last night. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you who were involved in different ways to see and to set up the meeting of last night. My answer to what happened yesterday was the best thing could happen to us. At the beginning, it looked very much a problem in breaking the systems, not being able to show the 5 kilowatt live. But in fact, it was a blessing in disguise. But not allowing or not happening that we could show live the presentation with 2 pieces of the system breaking down, it allowed us to speak frankly with the Americans. It allowed us to open the door in so many ways for those who are and were aware, but they could not understand the position of the foundation. I think the whole meeting wrapped up in the last 10 minutes. And we immediately after the meeting, within 25 minutes, 27 minutes after the close of the session last night, we received an offer which we could not refuse. We have accepted the offer. You know who you are, and we respect your leadership. The offer on the table is beyond understanding of some nations, but as I've said, accepted. If the motion takes place the way we expected, you will hear new dimensions to the research, development, and expansion of the Keshe Foundation technology worldwide. This is a decision that leaders make, and when leaders make decision, the subjects of the whole technology changes. On the other hand, as if you were present last night in the discussions in Washington, we showed 2 pieces of new equipment to show how much we've gone and how far we are extending the knowledge into a solid state generator. You have seen how far we are in respect to application and implication of wireless technology. This takes a few more weeks of completing, maybe days, depending on how our team works. And I think if we get the response which we expect, as usual, things don't happen the way you expect. But if things happen the way we expect, the new solid state power generator will be an easy way for energy production. Not everyone in Africa